All right, so today we're diving into online menus,
Online menus?
and more specifically, the photos on those menus.
Oh, interesting.
Whether you're someone who's like prepping for a big restaurant meeting or just fascinated by, the psychology of like food marketing, or maybe you're like me and you're just easily swayed by a delicious looking picture,
Yeah,
this is the deep dive for you.
I like that.
So we've got some great excerpts here from the Menuviel restaurant blog.
Menuviel. Yeah.
And they actually provide those online ordering systems, so they're kind of in the trenches.
Oh, they know what they're talking about.
Yeah, so they know what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be pulling from their experience. And, we always hear that phrase,
Oh, yeah.
we eat with our eyes first.
You're right. Like, we all know that's true.
But I feel like there's a lot more to unpack there.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially these days when so much is online.
Yeah.
I mean, online menus are often like the very first interaction a customer has with a restaurant.
Yeah, that's true.
So those photos really set the tone and like the expectation.
Totally.
It's high stakes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I know I'm definitely more likely to order something if I can see what it looks like,
Right.
rather than just like reading a description.
Of course.
Menuviel even cites research that backs this up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people really are just more likely to order a dish
Interesting.
if they can visually experience it.
Makes sense.
It's like the photo helps you imagine yourself enjoying that meal.
Yeah, and it's interesting how Menuviel talks about how the best photos,
Mm-hmm.
they don't just convey, what the dish looks like, but
Yeah.
taste, texture, even emotion. Like it's
Right.
storytelling through visuals.
Oh, that's so cool. And that storytelling, like that ties right into branding, right?
It does if you think about it.
Oh, right.
Like if a restaurant has a specific vibe,
Right.
their photos need to reflect that.
Yeah.
Like you can't be like a casual burger joint
Yeah.
and have photos that look like super fine dining.
Totally.
It just wouldn't make sense. So consistency with photography, across all your platforms.
Yeah.
It helps build that brand recognition and create a sense of trust for the customer.
Oh, for sure. Okay. So we're not just talking about aesthetics here.
Right away.
This is about psychology.
It really
Like we're talking about triggering actual responses in people's brains.
You're hitting on something that Menuviel talks about a lot,
Okay.
which is this idea that visual stimuli,
Right.
like a really nice photo of food,
Yeah.
it activates our reward system.
Okay.
So think about it. You see a picture of a juicy burger,
Okay.
and all of a sudden you're craving a burger even if you weren't hungry before.
That's so true.
It's real. There's a biological basis for this.
Yeah. I can totally relate to that. I mean, I'll be scrolling through Instagram or something, and then I'll see a picture of like a chocolate chip cookie,
Oh, yeah.
and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I need a cookie. Like right now.
Totally, me too. And restaurants are definitely using this to their advantage.
Oh, for sure.
They're not just like showcasing food. They're creating this desire, almost planting a seed for craving.
Wow. That's a great way to put it. Okay. So we've talked about like, high quality photos are key.
Right.
But what about restaurants who maybe don't have like the budget for a professional photographer?
Right. That's a real concern.
So Menuviel actually provides some DIY photography tips.
They do. And those are good for anyone, really.
Totally.
Like, you don't have to be a restaurant to use them.
Yeah. Or even like a professional photographer.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Oh.
these are tips anyone can use.
Totally.
So like natural lighting is your best friend.
Definitely, you got to ditch those overhead lights.
Yeah.
Find a nice window with soft, diffused light.
It makes a huge difference.
It does.
I tried it with some of my food pictures and I was like,
Yeah,
whoa.
they look so much better, right?
So much
Yeah.
better. Yeah. And then keep the background simple.
Absolutely. You want the food to be the star.
Yeah. No distractions.
Exactly.
Menuviel also recommends using simple props
Oh,
just to add a little visual interest, like a sprig of rosemary or a colorful napkin.
oh, I love that.
Yeah, just those little details.
Those can really elevate a photo.
Totally. And I've seen restaurants using like unique plates or serving dishes
Oh, yeah.
just to like add some personality to the
Sure.
photos.
That's smart.
And it's those little things that make a difference.
They do.
So, DIY is a great starting point.
Mm-hmm.
But Menuviel also acknowledges that like sometimes hiring a professional
Yeah.
might be the best option,
Sometimes you just need that extra level of expertise.
especially for like larger restaurants.
Right. Or if you're really going for a polished look.
Yeah, or if you want to run ads or something,
Yeah. Exactly. And they actually have a really helpful list
Mhm.
in their blog
Yeah.
that compares like DIY versus hiring a pro.
Oh, cool. I'll have to check that out.
It's a good resource.
Awesome. All right, let's talk about stock photos for a second.
Oh, yeah. Stock photos.
It can be tempting to go that route
Oh, for sure.
because it's quick and easy.
Seems like a good solution.
But is it really the best approach?
Well, Menuviel actually warns against using stock photos.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they say it can backfire.
How so?
Well, think about it.
Okay.
If those photos don't actually represent your food, you could end up disappointing customers.
Oh, yeah, because they feel misled.
Exactly.
It's like when you see a picture of a burger online,
Yeah.
and then what you get is like
Totally different.
this sad little patty.
Yeah, it's a letdown.
Total letdown.
And it damages your credibility.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
So if a restaurant absolutely has to use stock photos, are there ways to do it without like totally misleading customers?
Yeah, there are some best practices.
Okay.
So you want to choose photos that closely match the style and plating of your dishes.
Okay.
Avoid anything that looks too staged or unrealistic, and use them sparingly.
Yeah.
Like, don't make your whole menu stock photos.
Yeah.
The goal is to stay authentic.
Authenticity, yeah.
Avoid that generic cookie-cutter feel.
Right, so we've talked about the visuals, but now let's talk about the techie side of things.
Oh, yeah.
Can photos actually impact a restaurant's search engine ranking?
You'd be surprised, but yeah, they can.
Really?
Yeah, optimized photos can actually boost your search rankings.
Wow, I had no idea. Okay, so break it down for me.
Yeah.
How do we make our menu picks SEO friendly?
Okay, so let's start with file names.
Okay.
Instead of using like a generic IMG 1234 or whatever,
Yeah.
use keywords that describe the dish,
Okay,
like spicy shrimp tacos.
that makes sense.
It tells the search engine what the image is.
So it's like giving them a label.
Exactly, and then there's alt text.
Alt text, what's that?
It's a short description
Mm-hmm.
that you add to the image code.
Okay.
It helps visually impaired users
Oh, that's great.
understand what's in the photo,
Mm-hmm.
but it also provides information to search engines.
So it's good for accessibility and SEO.
Win-win.
I liked it. So how do we write good alt text for food photos?
Well, it should be specific and descriptive. Imagine you're describing the photo to someone who can't see it.
Guys.
So instead of just saying chocolate cake, you could say
Yeah.
a slice of rich, dark chocolate cake with a layer of creamy ganache and topped with fresh raspberries.
Oh, wow. You're making me hungry.
See, much more enticing.
Yes, much more informative.
Okay, so descriptive alt text. Got it.
Mm-hmm. And don't forget to compress your images.
Oh, right. File size matters.
It does. Large image files can slow down your website.
Yeah, no one wants to wait for a website to load.
Exactly.
Ah.
It's bad for user experience, and it can actually hurt your search engine ranking.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But there are free tools online that can help compress images without sacrificing too much quality.
Okay, good to know. All right, we talked about websites, but what about all those delivery apps?
Oh, yeah, the delivery apps. Those are huge.
Like, I feel like those photos are even more important in that context. I think so, too, because people are making quick decisions based on limited information.
They're scrolling. They're hungry.
Exactly. So those photos need to work hard. Clear, bright images are key,
Makes sense.
especially since most people are browsing on their phones.
Right?
So think about what would make you stop and take a closer look.
What would make me click?
Yeah.
I want it to like practically jump off the screen
Yeah.
and scream, order me.
That's it. Showcase your best sellers.
Mm.
The items that are most likely to entice customers.
Oh, and update those photos regularly.
Yes, especially if you have new menu items.
Right, or seasonal specials.
Exactly. Keep it fresh. Keep it exciting.
So much to consider. It's not just like snapping a few pictures and uploading them.
No, it's a whole strategy.
Yeah, we got to be strategic.
Optimize those photos for each platform.
Yeah, make them work hard for you.
Exactly. But it's worth the effort.
Mm-hmm.
Because when it's done right,
Yeah.
it can be a really powerful tool,
Yeah.
you know, for building your brand, attracting customers,
Mm-hmm.
boosting your bottom line.
So it's like treating those photos as an extension of your restaurant's dining experience.
Oh, I like that.
It's like you're creating this visual journey
Yeah.
that starts online and hopefully ends with a satisfied customer.
Well said. So we've covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah.
From the psychology of food photography to practical tips for different platforms.
So what's the big takeaway here?
What do you want our listeners to remember?
All right, so we've established those online menu photos are super important,
Yeah, they're key.
but I'm guessing like a one-size-fits-all approach doesn't really work.
Not at all. Each platform's got its own like style and audience.
Okay, so where do we start?
Well, let's start with your restaurant website.
Okay.
That's often a customer's like first point of contact.
Yeah, makes sense.
So high-resolution photos are key there, right?
Yeah, I would imagine so.
You want those pictures to be crystal clear.
Yeah, especially since people might be viewing them on larger screens.
Exactly.
Like a desktop or a laptop or even like a tablet.
Totally. You want to like showcase those dishes in all their glory, crisp details, vibrant colors.
So it's not just about the individual photos though, right?
No, it's also about how they're presented.
Okay, how so?
Like the layout, the organization of the online menu. That matters a lot.
Okay, I can see that.
I imagine landing on a website and the menu's all cluttered and confusing.
Right.
You're probably going to bounce.
Yeah, nobody's got time for that.
So think about using categories.
Okay.
Appetizers, entrees, desserts.
Right. Makes sense.
So people can easily find what they're craving.
Nobody wants to be like hunting around for the pasta section.
Exactly. Just make it easy for them.
Yeah. Are there other things we can do to enhance the user experience?
A click to enlarge option for photos can be really nice.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
It lets people like really appreciate the details,
Yeah.
get a closer look at what they're ordering.
What about website loading times, though?
Oh, yeah. That's important.
I know I get impatient if a page takes forever to load.
You and everyone else.
Yeah.
Large image files can be a major culprit there. So compressing those images without sacrificing quality, that's key. There are tons of free tools online that can help with that.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so we got our website looking sharp.
Okay, great.
Now let's talk social media.
All right, let's do it.
Instagram feels like a natural fit for food photography.
Yes, it does.
What are your top tips for that platform?
Okay, so Instagram is all about visual storytelling.
Okay.
So high-quality, vibrant photos are essential.
Makes sense.
Think bright colors, sharp focus, beautiful lighting.
But it's not just about posting pretty pictures, right?
No, it's about capturing attention.
Right, because it's such a fast-paced feed.
Exactly. People are scrolling.
So what kind of photos like tend to perform well?
Well, you want to experiment with different angles.
Okay.
Overhead shots work great for like flat dishes.
Okay, like pizza?
Like pizza, exactly.
Yeah.
While close-ups can highlight the textures of like a steak.
And those irresistible like cheese pulls and sauce drips.
Oh yeah, those always get the likes.
Totally.
Yeah.
But it's not just about the photos themselves, is it?
No, it's also about how you use the platform.
Okay.
Instagram stories are great for highlighting daily specials,
Okay.
behind-the-scenes glimpses of your kitchen.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, even running quick polls to engage your audience.
Oh, cool.
Keep things dynamic.
Yeah. I've also seen a lot of restaurants using user-generated content,
Oh, yeah.
like reposting photos that customers have shared.
That's smart.
Yeah? Is that a good strategy?
I think it's a great strategy.
Okay.
It's social proof.
Oh, yeah.
Seeing real people enjoying your food,
Yeah.
that's persuasive.
Plus, it's free marketing.
Exactly.
All right, Instagram covered.
Okay.
How should we approach Facebook differently?
So Facebook is more versatile.
Okay.
You can post individual photos, create albums,
Okay.
showcase different menu categories. You can even use those photos in ads.
Oh, ads. That's a great point.
Yeah, Facebook ads can be really effective.
Especially targeted ones, right?
Yeah. Especially if you target them to users in your area.
Makes sense.
Imagine you're scrolling through your feed. You see an ad for a restaurant nearby.
Yeah.
And it's got a picture of their signature dish.
Sometimes you want to go.
Could be the little nudge you need.
Yeah, that's true. All right, speaking of visual platforms, what about Pinterest?
Pinterest, good one.
Yeah, I use Pinterest all the time for recipe inspiration.
Yeah, Pinterest is a visual search engine.
Okay.
So think about what people might be searching for.
Mm-hmm.
Create boards focused on specific categories.
Like brunch or?
Yeah, brunch, cocktails, desserts.
Oh, love it.
Use high-quality images.
Yeah.
And optimize your descriptions with keywords.
That makes sense.
So people can find you.
It's like creating this virtual storefront.
Totally.
Curated for food lovers.
Exactly. Okay, so we've covered websites, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest.
The big ones.
What about those third-party delivery apps?
Right. Those are huge.
They are.
I feel like the photos there are even more crucial.
I think so, too.
Because you're competing with so many other restaurants.
Yeah, and people are making quick decisions. So remember, they're often deciding based on limited information.
Right. They just see your restaurant name and like a couple pictures.
Exactly. So those photos need to work hard.
Okay.
Clear, bright images. Essential. Most people are on their phones.
Yeah.
So think about what would make you stop and look.
Okay.
Showcase your signature dishes.
Okay.
Your best sellers.
Right.
The items that are most enticing.
And keep those photos updated.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, if you have new items or seasonal specials.
Exactly. Keep things fresh. Keep it exciting.
Wow. So much to consider.
There is.
It's not just snapping some pics and uploading them.
Not anymore.
We got to be strategic.
Yeah, put some thought into it.
Yeah. Optimize those photos for each platform.
Make them work for you.
Make them work hard. Yeah.
But it's worth the effort
Okay.
when it's done right.
Yeah.
Photos can be really powerful tools
Yeah.
for building your brand, attracting customers.
Boosting your bottom line.
So it's like we're treating those photos as an extension of your restaurant's dining experience,
I love that analogy.
creating this visual journey
Yeah, a visual journey.
that starts online
Starts online.
and hopefully ends with a satisfied customer.
A happy customer. Well said.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
From the psychology of food photography to practical tips for different platforms. So what's the big takeaway here?
What's the one thing you want our listeners to remember?
You know, for me, it's the power of these photos to like influence our decisions,
Yeah.
often without us even realizing it.
Subconsciously.
Yeah, and we think we're making choices based on descriptions and prices,
Yeah.
but those visuals are like working behind the scenes.
They are.
Sparking cravings, shaping our perceptions.
Like they're tapping into a deeper part of our brain.
Totally.
It's all about desire.
Yeah, instant gratification.
We are very visual creatures.
Those first impressions, especially with food,
Yeah.
they're so powerful.
Yeah. A well-taken photo can make a dish seem so much more appealing,
Totally more appetizing.
more desirable.
Absolutely.
It's not just about making the food look pretty, though.
Right.
It's about conveying like a feeling, an experience.
Like a story almost.
Totally. And they can even trigger those biological responses in our brains.
Yeah, that's the crazy part.
Making us crave certain foods.
Even if we weren't hungry before.
Exactly.
That's what's so fascinating about it.
Yeah.
It's not just marketing, there's actual science behind it.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about visual stimuli, activating the reward system,
Okay.
creating a sense of pleasure and anticipation.
Wow. So restaurants are really tapping into like our innate desires
They are using visuals.
to create that connection.
Powerful connection.
And something else that really stood out to me was the importance of consistency
Consistency. Oh, yeah.
with the photos across all platforms.
Makes sense.
You know, so the website, social media, the delivery apps,
Right.
it not only looks professional,
Yeah.
but it also helps to reinforce that brand identity.
Absolutely. It's like creating a visual language
Oh, I like that.
that speaks to your target audience.
Yeah, and it tells them what you're all about.
Exactly. It's like giving them a little sneak peek into your world.
And let's not forget about the technical side of things.
Oh, yeah, the SEO stuff.
It was so interesting to learn about how optimized photos can actually impact search engine rankings.
Right.
Like they're doing double duty, attracting customers and helping those search engines find you.
They are. It's all about making it easier for Google to understand what your website's about. So when you use those descriptive file names,
Yeah.
the alt text,
Right.
you're basically giving those photos a little boost.
It's like you're putting a spotlight on them,
Yeah, exactly.
helping them stand out. And while we've talked about the value of professional photography,
Right.
I love that there are those DIY tips and tricks.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone can use them.
To improve their food photos.
Yeah, even on a budget.
Especially on a budget.
You don't need a fancy camera or anything.
Nope. A little creativity,
Yeah,
natural lighting.
some simple editing tools.
Exactly. You can do a lot with just your phone these days.
So if you're a restaurant owner listening to this, what's the message?
Invest in those high-quality menu photos.
Yes.
It's an investment that will pay off.
Yeah, it's not just an expense.
No, it's about boosting your brand, your online presence,
Yeah.
your bottom line.
And for those of us who just love food and dining out, it's a good reminder to be mindful of how those photos are influencing our choices.
I agree with that.
Yeah, we're constantly being bombarded by visual stimuli.
We are.
So it's good to be aware
Yeah,
of how they're shaping our perceptions and even our cravings.
so true. So before we wrap up,
Yeah.
I want to leave our listeners with a thought-provoking question.
Okay, I like it.
Imagine you're browsing online for dinner tonight. What is it about a restaurant's photos that makes you click order now?
Oh, that's a good one. For me, it's that feeling of anticipation. You know, that visual promise of a delicious meal.
Yeah.
Is it the vibrant colors, the artfully arranged ingredients?
It could be the steam rising up from the dish.
Yeah, whatever it is, those photos are speaking to me.
On a deeper level.
Yeah, enticing me to experience that food for myself.
We eat with our eyes first, and in the digital age, those online menu photos are often our first taste of what a restaurant has to offer.
That's true.
So whether you're a restaurant owner or just a food enthusiast,
Yeah.
remember, Every photo tells a story, evokes an emotion, and has the power to influence a decision.
Make those photos count.
Make them count. That's a wrap on our deep dive into the world of online menu photos.
I hope you enjoyed it
I know I did.
and learned something new along the way.
We'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining us.
Until then, happy eating your